Hi guys, I'm Mr. Razor and welcome to my channel. I know I'm a bit late to the game here with my 2021 setup since I haven't had much time these past few weeks with the holidays and packing gifts while also working at my regular day job and also trying to catch up on posting some other content here. I have just so much content piled up that I need to get to, and I'm trying my best. But anyway, I'm working hard to try and get this setup going for you guys, and also my January monthly setup before the new year. And so I really appreciate it for y'all coming to check this out. And now let's just cut right to the chase here and with getting this setup started. So here I am moving from my current Archer and Olive Clever Fox journal with 160 pages that I used from September 2020. And we'll end it off with December 2020 and moving into my new Archer and Olive Night Sky journal with 192 pages. And so that's 32 pages more. So I can add in my extra fun pages that I couldn't before with only 160 pages. As like the 160 pages was quite tight fitting in with both my monthly planning pages in the first half of my journal and then my diary or regular journaling pages in the second half of the journal. And so I wasn't able to add in my extra fun doodling pages in the back of the journal and some pages for just some fun and random things that I might add in throughout the time while using the journal. But now just having that extra 32 pages, I know that it isn't way too much, but it's still a significant enough amount that is really helpful that I can actually add back in those just fun pages. And so here's also just a quick flip to show the bit of size difference from the 160 pages to the 192 pages. And since, like, again, these are 160 GSM pages, so they're pretty thick, so you can, I could like definitely feel the difference in the thickness of the journal in my hands. Comparing from the 160 pages to that 192 pages, those few pages poking out of my smaller Clever Fox 160 page journal are just some extra pages that I stuck in to my back journal section, just adding in some extra pages to that journal. But anyway, going on to the new journal now, I have my quick opening page where I will put my email and phone number, just pretty general info, and I will write in my name along with that later. Again, this the first page is out right here is just some quick, simple information. If anything ever happened to my journal, and maybe if I kind of maybe lost it, and someone will hopefully return it back to me. Hopefully, but most of the time my journal doesn't really leave the house much. So yeah, that's just, I always generally just put my email and phone number there, no matter what kind of journal it is. Following that, I always skip that first blank dotted page that is still partially stuck to the other front page. And that's because that page would be hard to use anyway with its weird fold and doesn't exactly flow with the rest of the pages. Then after that, I always leave the cover page blank as I tend to take my time to decide what style or theme would fit best to reflect the time using this journal. And in this case, from January 2021 through April 2021, which is 4 months, for these journals, I'm gonna be I will be using for 4 months, and then I will come back to filling up that cover page sometime towards the end of April. Is when I wrap my journal up. Next up, I got my index page, which basically lines up how this bullet journal is going to be set up. This will look quite similar to my last 2020 bullet journal setup I did with that Clever Fox journal, in which I will put a link down below in the description and up here in that top right corner that you guys can check out. But my goal for this setup is basically just change things up a little bit. I'm gonna be making the font a bit rounder, and then change up the style a tad bit with the spreads of the pages, change a little bit here and there. I also have a few additions that I will be making too. And basically in the first chunk of this index page, I got all my annual spreads listed out with their page numbers and page ranges. Then I got my 4 months afterwards, in which I will put in the page numbers and page ranges later, since I number my pages as I go. So I'll fill in what pages a month takes when I actually get done through each one. And then at the bottom is where my journal splits off to my diary, and then some extra pages at the end for those random doodles and fun pages. And I'll write down again the page numbers and page ranges when I get there. So overall, yep, this is a very nice and simple index page here. I added a few things and changed a little bit from my last setup, but it is very similar to my last setup because I only used that one for 4 months, which isn't that long, and I really like that one, so I thought to continue to use it to start off the new year. So starting onto the actual annual spreads, one of the must-have pages for me is that calendar page listing out all the 12 months together for easy reference for the entire year. I shift around the months according to which month I am starting my journal, plus the 11 other months following it. And so what I mean by that is, so like in my last setup, I started the calendar in September, so it went through August 2021. Now for this one, since it is starting right at the beginning of the year with at January 2021, it will go through December 2021. And then for the next journal, just for example, it will go from May 2021 through going through the year following through April 2022. And so shifting on every 4 months with always one full year on this page. Now, always following that calendar page, I have my events page, which is always, like almost always, also known as the future log pages in the bullet journaling community. I simply decided to call it the events pages since I list all the special events that happen throughout the year here. So this time I went with like a more vertical setup, fitting in 6 months across 2 pages. The second page, which is on the back side to this first page, I had tried to do like the horizontal version at first, but the spacing to like try to fix 6 months on each page horizontally didn't really work out as well as I was hoping. So I swapped a few things around and now it fits perfectly with this vertical style. Going on to the next page, I have my memories page where I made some sections to choose some of the most special moments and memories from the year to put. Here, I tend to not really have too much going on during the year, so 6 spots should be enough. Plus, as I go through a few notebooks each year, I will most likely end up having each memories page for the 4 months I'm actually using the journal. So what I mean by that is like the memories page in the beginning setup as I start a new journal will like be for that 4 months that I'm just using I'm using for that journal for. But yeah, so in each square there's a spot for a date at the top and then plenty of space to write down about the memory below it. And here are some fun list pages: the life goals list, bucket list, and wish list. I stuck my life goals and bucket list together on the same page since they are basically the same thing, but based on like different categories. Like the life goals being more of a career-wise and things that are more on the important end of life, and then the bucket list is just a list of fun things that you want to do in life before you die, which can range from simply learning how to like bake a cake to something more adventurous like maybe like skydiving. And then lastly here I got a nice big wish list page for all the stuff that I want to buy. And I do tend to buy a ton of stationery, as you can obviously see throughout my channel. And I also buy lots of movie-based collections and collectibles, as that is also like my the other half of my life that I like to collect stationery, and then I love to collect movie collections and collectibles. So I always have tons of stuff to put on my wish list pages. And I'm mentioning my love for movie collections. Here's my upcoming film and television series releases page, in which I list out a ton of the movies planned to come out in 2021 or are planning to be released in this new year. I love watching so many movies, so this is one of the most important pages for me. I know that with all the stuff going on around these days, lots of movies have been pushed to 2021 from 2020. So it's looking like there's going to be a ton of movies to be released this year. Well, hopefully there will be, and that there won't be a ton of movies being pushed back again to even further to 2022, because that would just suck. But anyway, so far there seems to be plenty of entertainment on the way, and I always gotta keep track of them all. Now I got even more entertainment spreads coming along with my celebrity interest page and a page for some of the top entertainment news and highlights that I like to jot down. Since I watch so many movies, I tend to fall onto watching all the movies under certain actors and actresses if I come to like enjoy their typical roles that they play. And this also plays into other entertainment categories such as music and what artists I like to listen to, and then YouTube with the YouTubers I tend to like to watch. So I like to write down the main names of those that I watch and what category they fall in and what I know them for. And just before I went on to inking in my entertainment highlights page here, so my 1.0 millimeter Sharpie S gel pen was acting up quite a bit, so I gave up with it and went back to my handy 1.0 millimeter Pigma Micron like graphic pen, and went back and redid the titles of each page so everything would look nice and even. And it did come out a bit bold since I am inking over previous ink, but I do like the boldness that it turned out to be, and I just let it blend into the style that spreads in the setup. Now, I do love my Sharpie S gel pens, but one thing that I did find out after testing the pens out myself and using all the different tip sizes that are out there is that the thicker the tip, the more likely that it will skip, especially if you jostle the pen too much or drop it somehow. So just one quick tip here, if you're planning to buy those S gel pens, is to stick with the 0.7 millimeter S gels and smaller tips, and avoid the 1.0 ones, because those have always just skipped so much and are not that good. And so just finally back to the actual spread of the page. As stated earlier, I use this page to jot down some entertainment news that are important to me. I tried to make the page little bit more fun, not just like a date and list going down the page like last time, but I'm trying to make this bit different, and I made these different rectangle shapes to try to look like article ads, and it turned out like this. Not exactly how I wanted it to look, but still ended up pretty good. And next up, I got my favorites pages, just like before in my last setup, but with some changes to the spread. It is basically what it says, and you simply list the top 5 under each category. On the left is more of a year and spread, in which like a year-round spread, year-end spread, in which you would wrap up and what topped each category at the end. But I like to add this at the beginning of the year so I can start jotting down some of my top favorites that might make it to the top 5. And this page would be best started out in pencil before inking in, so you can always change things around throughout the year. Then on the right side of the more general favorites, those I just write in immediately, but still in pencil, because hey, like, you might just run into something that blows one of your all-time favorites to the side. Next up, with these YouTube pages, these are more for those who have a YouTube channel, but you can also use this concept and apply it to other trackers you might be working on, like one for how many pounds you lost if you're working to lose weight, or instead of YouTube, but for tracking how many Instagram followers you got. For me, I am going to be using them to track the amount of subscribers and watch hours I have with my channel, and then a new page for jotting down ideas for more videos to share with y'all. Now, with just a few more pages left, I got my financial overview page where I simply list how much I earned and spent each month, and then how much I have left in my bank at the end of each month. Then I added in a section at the bottom of the page to list out all the subscriptions I currently have going on and marking how often they charge and how much. Then I got the next 2 pages for listing out passwords for a bunch of websites and accounts that I have. I am terrible at remembering my passwords, so this spread has really been a lifesaver and time saver, because I don't have to keep on resetting my passwords all the time. And then the very last page is my contacts page, where I write down all of my close contacts. And yes, I did accidentally write price instead of phone number there. And so I didn't realize it while I was writing it in and filming this video. But now I simply just used whiteout to go just whiteout over the word price, and then just rewrote phone on top of that after I filmed this. So all in all, this is a very straightforward setup that is very basic and simple, that anyone of any level of bullet journalists, artists, any level of creativity can all use. Feel free to use these examples as a base to start off your own. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and make sure to hit that like button if you did, and if you did like this video, and subscribe to my channel with notifications on to get notified when I post some new content. I also do lots of other videos aside from bullet journaling that include lettering, art and drawing, stationery hauls, and unboxing videos. Plus I do lots and lots of giveaways. I currently have a double giveaway happening that goes through January 4th with my recent Archer and Olive subscription box unboxing video. So make sure to go and check that out if you'd like to win some awesome stationery. I do have like over $1,000 of stationery supplies to give away from all of my hauls. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Also, feel free to come by and check out my social media for even more content and updates on projects that I'm working on. And on my social media, I also give more chances to win even more stationery supplies. So make sure to come check it out. So once again, I hope you all enjoy this video. And that is everything. And I will see you in another video.